the best to everybody doing their thing their way. I just know that for me, and I think the people that I probably impact the most, they don't want to be stuck behind the computer monitor day in and day out, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week. They don't want that. And so I'm like, well, cool. Guess what? I've got a way that's different than what a lot of other people are doing. That's it.
Hey, welcome back to the show. And today I'm so excited because I have a fellow outsourcing master, Joe Rare. Would you tell us who you are and what do you do?
So, I mean, I'm an outsourcer through and through. Everything that I do in business, in as much of my personal life as possible, is I outsource services, I outsource tasks, I outsource projects to my team in the Philippines, in South America. And who I help, is pretty much any small business owner, anybody looking to create leverage in their business, put themselves in a position where they can create actual freedom. So like, who's Joe? Joe's an outsourcer and he's the freedom guy.
I like it. So you're a freedom guy. Dive into that a little bit more. People all think they're free in some way, shape, or form, but why aren't they?
Well, they're not free because they marry their business, and the process of building a business is tedious. It's hard, and people get into their business and they forget why they started it in the beginning. And, most people have some grand idea that they're going to create freedom in their business. They're going to have the opportunity to have time, have money, do what they want when they want. And that gets beat up pretty bad when they realize you're the end all be all. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think you can build businesses where you can step out of the company. You can have other people operate it. You can have other people run it, manage it, and actually take care of all that. And then in my perfect world, in each of the companies that I own, I'm a strategic advisor and an investor, and I get to look down from, the sky and direct the company the direction it needs to go. So
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you're a 30,000 foot view guy, not a 120 hour a week guy.
Never. I would never work that much. That's awful.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man, I can't tell you how often it is that we hear in our society today, the quote unquote entrepreneurial community will talk about, I put in 100 hours a week no matter what, because I'm just so freaking awesome. Right. I mean, how stupid is that in your opinion?
Well, I don't know that it's stupid. It's misguided. Okay. It has to align with somebody's values. My values are super simple. It's family above all. And that means that I have to actually be there. Right. And so in my world, my kids know for a fact that they could walk into any room at any time. If I'm in a meeting, I'm on a podcast, I might tell them, hey, you need to let me finish. But if they walked over here and they got on camera, tough shit for your podcast because they're on camera.
No doubt.
And I want them around. I want to be around them. I made a commitment that when we decided to have kids, there would never be one thing ever that I missed, not one.
Wow.
And the only way to do that is if you have freedom. And I mean, freedom of time. Although financial resources help you with the time freedom. So you do have to build something that makes money, but the freedom side of it, I mean, that to me, it depends on what somebody wants in their life and in their business. Some people love right now, Hermosy's heavy right now and everybody's, listening to him. All the dude does is work, but does he have a life outside of work? He doesn't, but guess what? He doesn't want one. No. And you know what? So then I go, okay, cool. Good for you, man. You do you. Okay. He doesn't want to have kids. He doesn't they don't want any of that stuff. And it's so do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't affect me at all. But what I do know is that my life with my family and my kids and the opportunities that we have to do what we do, it is worth way more than becoming a billionaire maybe someday. I don't know, so
I love it. No, I 100% agree. And I love that you brought Hermosy in as a workaholic because he just loves to work. He loves the act of working and finishing and designing and architecting something really cool. So yeah, more power to him.
Dude, it is. And you know what? And maybe someday that changes for him and he finds burnout. He finds, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I don't know. It could happen. Or he may become an 80-year-old man still grinding away, working, having no kids, no family, and being like, whatever. And you know what? The best to everybody doing their thing their way. I just know that for me, and I think the people that I probably impact the most, they don't want to be stuck behind the computer monitor day in and day out, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week. They don't want that. And so I'm like, well, cool. Guess what? I've got a way that's different than what a lot of other people are doing. That's it.
I love it. So for you and me in the industry, we call it BPO. What is BPO, and why did you think this was a great idea to jump into?
Well, I thought it was a good idea because it was the only way when I started out, it was the only way that I could actually hire somebody. So when I first got started, one of the first things I needed done was some graphic design work. I look at US graphic designers and back, this is dating back to 2008. I couldn't afford to hire a graphic designer when I'm starting my business from zero. And so I started outsourcing and I started finding people in India, and that didn't work out. And then it was like, Pakistan, you figure out, and you learn which country has the most effective like designs and all that. So anyway, that was why I started in this outsourcing world, was literally because I couldn't afford to build my business in any other way.
Right.
And so it was like a means to an end. Not to mention, obviously there was a little bit of Tim Ferriss in there who kind of convinced me like, hey, by the way, this is a good opportunity to build a business. And so I was like, all right, well that works. That's cool. But, that it really, for me, it started because I didn't have another option. If I wanted to build a business, I didn't have any resources to hire somebody local. So there was nothing that I could do about that.
And you bring up such a good point. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, BPO literally stands for business process outsourcing. Joe and I have both been doing this since the early 2000s. And it is something that I think for both of us, probably for the very same reason, I remember thinking I need a drafter and I can't afford an $80,000 a year salary for drafting that I only need about 12 hours a week. You know what I mean? And so for me, outsourcing the Philippines was my start in 2006 with discovering that, holy crap, I can upload a file, get someone to reproduce what I need to get done overnight and have it in the morning. And that was a game changer, right?
100%. Yeah. Then it went from little graphic design tasks to, hey, I just paid somebody $10,000 to build a website. That didn't work out. And then I turn around and send it to the Philippines for a fraction, and it worked out awesome. And then like, what am I doing? And it was November of 2008 was when I hired my first full-time year working just with me. And I've had a team working with me literally every single day since that day. And the team's grown and obviously it's, changed, but yeah, so that's how that works.
Okay. So looking back at that journey, Joe, you're very heavy into some very specific niches where you provide these services. You have some definite skill sets that you've been able to acquire and train and have available to your client persona. Who are you targeting? Like who is your best client right now? What other types do you kind of entertain sometimes? What's your story?
We, our perfect persona kind of shifts, but, we work heavily with agencies, and primarily just because I've been an agency owner for years. And so it was an easy in to work within that industry. And
the pain points.
Yeah, I know their pain points. We use the same technology and the same softwares and all that. So when it became, hey, I'm using my team to do this for me, why don't I just do this for other people in the same niche? The other thing, I own an agency in the wedding venue niche. And so we also work with venues. And so we're very skilled working there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so, a lot of the services are around, we focus more on the marketing side and then some administrative work. And we try to stay in that lane because I know that if shit hit the fan, we could step in. I could personally step in, train people, get them up to speed, do whatever I need to do to fix the direction of the company by staying in the lane that I know well. So that's why we kind of stay where we are. Yeah.
I am so glad you're here. And I just wanted to take a few seconds to tell you about a program that we have assembled with a lot of our podcast guests and a lot of people who are listening to the show who are feeling the same way that they do. There's a recurring theme. You'll hear a lot of these founders talk about, I couldn't have done it without my team. I couldn't have done it without a support group of peers. I couldn't have done it without having someone to talk to that understood my feeling of isolation as an operator of my business. You see, you're not alone. It is hard running a business, and it's even harder when you know you can't express all your deepest concerns and frustrations with your executive team. It makes them nervous. It gets them scared. You don't want scared people on your executive team. So where do you turn? The Captain's Council is where you turn. The Captain's Council, it is an organization that we are put together with podcast guests, as well as people who are listening who are in the same boat. You see, peers are the only ones that can give you the type of empathy, the type of advice that only a founder or operator know and understand. Go check it out at captainscouncil.com. I know you're going to love what you see there. We have put together an organizational structure that has small group settings, a global community of founders and operators, as well as monthly and quarterly in-person events. You're going to love what you see there. I can't wait for you to check it out and enjoy the rest of this episode. So smart. So looking back at since 2008, you've been operating in this BPO world, the outsourcing world. And since that time, you've definitely found a home in that niche of wedding marketing and wedding, venue services, but also in the marketing agency world. Is there a time where you thought, oh, dude, this is getting out of control, I need to hone it in? Or did you just always decide that this was the niche I wanted to hit? Or what was kind of that key decision that helped you align yourself with a place where you could grow the most?
Well, I mean, there was, a piece of software, obviously the high level, platform.
Right.
When that launched, I was actually customer number one. So
is that right?
Oh yeah. So I'm invoice number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm the first.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So
wow.
I was the very first person. And in fact, when I signed up, they couldn't even take my payment. And it was like, they were just like, well, wait a minute. And I'm like, yeah, you guys, I'm literally trying to pay you guys and you guys can't accept it. And it was kind of funny. So yeah, I actually didn't know for a long time that I was like customer number one. But then last year at the summit, Varun came up to me and he was just like, hey, we've been hiding this from you for a while, but this is why some people are kind of funny around you, because everybody would come in and they were treating me like I was an alien or something. Funny. And I'd go in to get my badge at the summit and they're like, oh my God, it's Joe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was so weird. And they were like, oh, well, we have this spreadsheet of all of our customers and you're the first line. Right. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And, cause Rob Bailey was an affiliate ahead of me.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, but Rob was there, but Rob was one of their beta launchers. And so he actually wasn't a customer until later, but anyway, that's a long story. So anyway,
oh my God,
my team got forced to learn the platform because I signed up. And at the time, the software, they didn't have a customer support team.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything. And so they were like, well, yeah, good luck. Here's how you do it. Get on a call with the owners and they'll kind of help you. And so all I would do is I would record those calls and then I would give them to my team. My team would learn it and so forth. And then as that company began to acquire new customers, people started coming saying, hey, how do you do this? And I just became a voice in the community. And it, anyway, so that's how we really started kind of working with agencies at kind of a higher level. And I was using the software, they're using the software. Before that, we were supporting Infusionsoft, Keep, that platform because I was a certified partner. But then when we made the jump to high level, it was okay, guys, we're going all in. Here we go. And then we've served, I don't know, over 3,000 agencies out of there. So it's been
totally. Now, and for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Go High Level is an amazing CRM platform that literally started from a few guys trying to figure out how to connect the dots on text and email and really just automate some simple functions. It's now a full-blown marketing engine that you can see details below. Click on the link, but Go High Level is amazing. And Joe and I met in that community probably going on four or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
In the community, and just now getting him on the show. I don't know why it took so long.
I was hiding out here in Montana.
Right. Well, it's not a bad place to hide out.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So going back to level 9, like, first of all, what is level 9? Like level 8, 7, 8, 9, like what's going on here?
So 9 is, obviously a number, if you're into numerology, which I'm not, but when I launched the company, it was actually my VAs who decided that they wanted to build a VA company. So I was fine. I was happy as a clam running my agency, doing that. It was great. And then we just kept telling all of, our clients, like, here's how you get it. Here's how you get overseas staff. Here's how you outsource. Here's how you do this. And we would just tell them. One of my VAs came to me and said, hey, you do know you're giving away money, right? You should just launch a VA company. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to run it. I don't want to do it. And she said, well, we'll do it. And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. And then she brought me some numbers and literally showed me how much money I gave away in the past year. And I was like, whoa, that's a real business. And so I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it. And so we started working just with our clients, but we did it under like my agency. And so we didn't have like a business name. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. And then I'm like, all right, I guess we should like create a brand and like make this like a real thing. And we were trying to come up with names and I couldn't figure anything out. And I was like, well, I want to do something where you're like helping people level up and like helping them, and one of the VAs was into numerology and like the number 3 is like a power number, blah, blah, whatever. I don't know. And so it ended up being that I was like, well, we're not gonna do 3. Like, that's weird. We're not, and so it ended up, and I was like, 6 is like, that's even worse. And so we came up with 9, which was, obviously 3 3s. And I was like, okay, that'll work. And so that's how the name was created. It was literally a VA who was into numerology.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
that. But
the brand is great.
Yeah, we are a virtual assisted services company. So we offer project-based work and we offer dedicated work. We offer live answering services. We offer, all kinds of VA services. But there you go.
Love it. So with that being said, you got your level 9 agency, you got your Go High Level stuff, you got your wedding venue stuff. Surely along the way there, you discovered that either you were getting spread too thin or work was, what was it that kind of hit you in the head and you're like, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And then you made things better. Can you give us an example of something like that in your growth journey that was like, okay, idiot, why didn't I do that 5 years ago?
Well, it actually was the agency that I had that I closed down.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I had my agency. We were kind of do everything for everyone. We had a big old fancy office with like glass walls and doors and all kinds of cool stuff.
In Montana?
No. This is back in Northern California when I lived there. And we had 27 people sitting in desks. They all had fancy computers. They all had chairs. Wow. Then we had to get ergonomic chairs. And it was like just this constant, it was hell. And so we had 2 clients that made up 40% of all of the revenue that we had. And in 2.5 weeks, both of them canceled.
Oh, shut up.
And so, And so then, of course, the ultimate optimist, I'm like, yeah, but all we got to do is go replace the revenue. No big deal. Let's go do it. And my business development team wasn't developing any business. And so I started taking on debt to cover payroll.
The chairs weren't ergonomic enough?
No, yeah. So we were losing. And finally, big shout out to Rob Bailey. Rob and I got on a call and he's like, look, dude, I was just there. I know exactly what you're going through. Close down your agency. Yeah. And I'm like, you are out of your mind. I'm like, I'm not closing down my agency. And he goes, no, seriously, if you just close it down and you start over, like all things reset, and then you can focus on doing one thing for one niche, do it well. And that's that. Right. And I go, well, what are you doing in revenue at the time? And he says, oh, we're doing about 60,000 a month. Yeah. But he has like 2 people on his team. And I'm like, well, shit.
Right.
So his margin, that's not bad. Yeah, but we were doing like 140 or 150. And I'm like, dude, we're like 3 times. You're like, I don't know if I'm giving this up. So he, I don't know, months go by. And then I see him on an interview with Sam Ovens and he's doing 400,000 a month. And I was like, what? So I literally text him and I'm like, dude, what did you do? And all he texted back was, he said, you didn't listen to me, did you? And I was like, no, I didn't. So I forget what the exact time was. It was within a few days after that response.
Right.
I fired everybody and I closed down the entire agency, went to zero.
Nice.
And the other good piece of advice he gave me was, it's like when you're choosing a niche, I'm like, look, we got all these clients. Like I can go all these different directions. He goes, yeah, out of all of your clients, if somebody were to call you on a Sunday when you're with your kids, who would you pick up the phone for?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. And I only had one client that I agreed I would probably talk to, and he owned a wedding venue. And I was like, cause he's not calling me for a fire because we crush it for him. And so I said, and he goes, that's your niche. Just go down that, go one thing for one niche, do that. And so I basically went from zero. We had one client, $3,000 a month, to $109,000 a month in 4 months.
I love it.
And that was kind of the recalibration of everything. And I did it all with just VAs and me. And that was it. So that was like my failure to relaunch and create success. Then we figured out that like, oh, if that worked, could we do it again? So then we doubled the business in another like 3 months. Then I said, well, could I do it with something else? And that's when Level 9 Virtual came up. And so then we scaled that and that worked, and that eclipsed everything we were doing. And so that was kind of the moment. It's like, well, shit, I could have done that all the time and I didn't. And then it became easy. And then business became really simple.
Well, and why did it not happen before? What was holding you back from doing that a year earlier?
I was so scattered in service. I didn't have a clear niche. I didn't have, not only that, but it's just like, even today, it's like the exact service that we offer. As we've expanded our service set, even at Level 9 Virtual, we've expanded our service set. We do this, and now we do a little bit of this, and now we do more of that. What we've done over time is we've actually pulled those all back together and gotten rid of the separate services and made them one service. And because we keep getting scattered, and then it's like, well, now there's more bookkeeping, and now there's more pages on your website, and there's more this, there's more that. And as soon as we get ourselves out into this kind of ether of craziness, then we hone it back in. And it was literally just lack of linear, like just very, very straight focus.
Right.
And that was a hard part.
I think that is probably the number one challenge with most people, is that linear focus onto, hey, if I just focus on this thing and stop getting distracted, I can actually drive some real growth here.
Yeah.
And everyone just wants to keep everyone happy. So they just take, I'm guilty of this. Yeah. I'm so guilty of this. Even in the GHL community, I've worked with a lot of big groups inside of GHL as a VA provider.
Yep.
And I finally got sick. I don't know how you're still doing it. To be honest, like for me, it was just like, holy crap, I'm building everyone's businesses.
Yep.
I can't focus on mine. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Good for you. Good for you. So looking out towards all the people that you're helping, right? Because you're helping agencies, you're helping small businesses, you're helping wedding venues. How do you balance that game of your own growth versus your advisory to these people as someone who's been there, done that, and grown something into people that are struggling to grow anything?
Well, how am I doing it, or what's the best?
Yeah, like how do you balance the game of,
well, I'm
providing VA services.
I don't operate my companies. So this is the difference. Like I'm not involved in day to day. Right. And so I'm more involved in the leadership sense from, again, that 30,000 foot view. That's the part of the business. So I am a strategic advisor, but I point the finger and tell people, this is the direction the company's going. This is the direction we're going to go. What resources do you need to get us there? And I'm telling my team this. They request resources, whether it be capital, whether it be human capital, or whatever that might be.
Right.
And I say, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's your budgets. Go. And it's people are always confused. They go, well, that sounds a lot like a normal business. And I'm like, well, no shit, it's a normal business. The only difference is that I don't have an ops director sitting here in the US. She just happens to be in the Philippines. And for some reason, people think that's weird. And I'm like, what's the difference between her being in the Philippines or her being in, I don't know, in Miami. There's no difference.
Right.
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 We're in our Slack channel. We're doing our thing. She's got her marching orders and go. And so that's the balance, is that I am not operating. So how do we grow our business? The team that's in place, who's responsible to grow the business, they grow the business. Our team that's responsible for managing and servicing clients, that's what they do. And then I get to look at the bigger picture and say, okay, our service is either accelerating, it's declining, it's, doing this, doing that. Here's where we need to make some adjustments. Okay, team, go, you handle that. Oh, our other team over here, like, we're supposed to be growing in sales. Oh, we're slowed down, or hey, we're going too fast, or any of those bits and pieces. Here's what we need to do different. And that's where I get to kind of play that strategic advisor and investor. And that's what I really enjoy doing.
I love it. I love it. Very, very fun stuff. And for those of you who are listening, who are feeling buried in your business, who don't know how to get your mouth above the water to get that deep breath before you go back under, you've got to listen to what Joe's telling you here. Because when you are trying to be the all and the everything, and the director and the operations director and strategic advisor and all those things in one shot, it is overwhelming, and you will feel buried. And you will feel buried until you do what, Joe?
Outsource. Get it off your plate.
Outsource.
Delegate it. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I love it. Well, for those that haven't done so already, look up Level 9, check them out online, and you've got to see what they're doing to help people like you grow and scale your businesses. This is an example of someone who has grown and scaled his own thing and has failed, and then has rebirthed and regrown into something new and better. Joe, what kind of final advice have you got for those that are really struggling to hand things off?
I would say go fail fast. Like, go make a mistake. Look, share a portion of your financial resources back into your business. And this is always, I think this is really tough for small business owners when they're trying to grow their business. The one thing that they have a hard time doing is kind of going without. Like, this is my income. Right. Well, great. So go test your income and give it to outsourcing, give it to staff, build a team, start to build and create, opportunities for leverage. Because what I can tell you is that once you start to really get good at leverage, your income skyrockets. And I mean, skyrockets. So if you can imagine anything that you can do in your business, whether it's fulfilling services, whether it's building systems and processes, whether it's doing sales and generating revenue, whatever that is, maybe you're the best at it. And this is the challenge with everybody who owns a business. You're the best. We know. We got you. You're the best. However, if you're the best and your 100% is giving you what you have right now, what if you could get 5 people who are 50% as good as you? Right. The output's going to be better. The revenue is going to skyrocket. The opportunity for you is only going to expand. And this is where it's like, if people would slow down, take a few steps back, put a team in place, realize they will never be as good as you. But I think it's Cody Sanchez says, it's like, or maybe it could be actually Layla Hormozi, but one of the two, it's about like the, how to get 140% out of, somebody who isn't as good as you. And it's like, okay, well, what if you're 100, but you get somebody who's 70% as good as you, and then you get another person who's 70% as good as you, and now they're 140% and they're better than you. And all of a sudden your business grows and you get to step back and actually operate. And when that's a Cody statement for sure. I'm almost positive it's Cody, but I think it's fascinating. It's like, you know what? Like, dude, my sales team, I know for a fact I can sell better than everybody that we have. Sure. But I can't sell at their volume because there's 10 of them. What am I going to, like, there's just no way. And so it's like, good, get that off. I'll try to advise. I'll try to support them. But the reality is that they can grow my business faster than I can. I love it. And Joe, I'm guessing in terms of a shout out here, you've already mentioned one person. I know the guy as well. He's a total stud. Who do you want to give the shout out to today? Like, who is it that you've been able to lean on a bit in your growth journey that's helped you get to where you're at today? I'm going to give 2. So Rob Bailey, I have to Rob's my boy. I will give him props till the end of my time.
Love it.
But also, to be honest, like Sean Clark from High Level, he has been instrumental from the early days. I mean, I couldn't imagine that I've been on more Zoom calls with anybody than Sean, and his support in helping me be able to build my business with his software and where we've gotten to and the opportunities that have come from it. Those are the two people that I would give shout out to.
I love it. I love both those guys as well. They're fantastic, and both have built amazing communities. If you haven't done so already, check both of them out. They are definitely awesome. And Joe, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I know for those that are looking for their first dabble into outsourcing, don't think you can go find great people on your own. You've got to find people that train them, get them ready, and can actually perform and can be monitored like Joe has in Level 9. Joe, anything, am I missing something there?
No, you're good. I mean, if you want to dabble, I'll leave you guys with this. We have a trial offer that we're running right now.
Love it.
A trial offer that we're running right now. You can dip your toe in the water. You can get 10 hours. This is a total promo. So this ends when it ends. But you can get 10 hours of service literally for $92. So super, super inexpensive.
Love it.
Yeah. Just go to level9virtual.com and take advantage right now.
Joe, thanks again, buddy.
We'll
catch up with you later. For those listening, keep on listening. This guy has got some good stuff, and we got more cool interviews coming down the pipe. We'll catch you then. Thanks, guys. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that interview, and I hope you enjoyed the fact that not only is Joe an amazing outsourcer and an amazing resource for potentially for you and your business, but he's also someone who lives what he teaches. He is not the day-to-day operator of any of his businesses. He is the financier. He is the one who gives the high-level advice of where to go and how to do it, but he does not get in the weeds every day. He lets his team manage what he's doing, and I love that about the way he operates. If you have questions about how you should be operating, my guess is you need to talk to other CEOs and founders. I've gained a lot of experience from talking to people like Joe and Joe himself. Joe gained experience from talking to the people that he mentioned, Sean and Rob, and people like that are people you can access in the Captain's Council. Check it out. CaptainsCouncil.com is a great place for you to come and be put together with other CEOs and founders who are dealing with growth challenges the same way you are. But did you know you can collectively, as a group, solve problems for each other, with each other, and by each other in ways that you never thought possible? Check out Captain's Council today and see if it's a good fit for you and your business. We'll catch you on the next episode, and we look forward to seeing you in the Captain's Council. Thanks so much for your time, and enjoy building and growing your business.